Hey guys, RCT3 Imagineer here, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. Now, since my last video, there's been some funny business with my computer files, and all the progress that I've been making on this ride suddenly disappeared. So today will be a little bit easier because I'll be going through some things that I've already done, and we'll be finishing up some work on the queue line. And since I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a new video, let's get right to work. So as you can see, a lot of things have been added since the last video, mostly in the queue line. For those of you who are familiar with my roller coaster tycoon videos, I normally don't do super elaborate queue lines, so this is my first attempt at doing one, and in a new game to boot. As you can see, we have a lot of different areas. First, we have a little forested area near the entrance to the queue, and then going in here, we have this little canyon that leads into a cave, where I figured out a way around my issues with the paths not being fully enclosed by the terrain forming. And on the other side, we have another little forested area right before you go into the building. Now, my inspiration for this queue came from scenery from both the alpine and the deciduous region sets. And so most of the scenery items that you see in this are taken from those. And I think it adds a pretty nice touch, combining the two. And that you don't get just a strict one-dimensional, well, can't really say one-dimensional because this isn't 3D. So it creates a really nice blending of the sets to create a unique atmosphere to the ride. And today we'll be doing a little bit more work on getting all of these details a little more complete in the queue line. The goal for the next couple videos is to finish up these small details of the queue and then get into finalizing things with the ride. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to put this on a time lapse so you don't have to watch me painfully go through everything. And to start off with this, we're going to be doing some terrain forming tools to form a bit of a lake at the splash pad. Now, unfortunately, when I was doing this, I was not able to get the water to go flush up past the track as I was originally hoping, but I think this is probably because I have already pre-placed the track, and because of constrictions with placing items such as water, it considers it a conflict maybe. So this is something I will probably experiment with more in the future, but for right now, we're just going to fill in the water and see how it looks. Now what I need to do is make the basin deeper so that you don't see the bottom. But that does not look great. And instead I did the opposite and raised it back up. Okay, so we're going to lower all that. And as you can see, this is me trying to get it to go higher, but because of the way the track was, it just didn't quite work out. Which is fine, you know, you can have that, but hopefully other features will allow it to be a little bit more flush to the water, so there's not a bit of a gap between the track and the water. I think I'm going to do is put this on a super lapse because I don't think anyone wants to watch me place fences meticulously for many minutes. So to save you the trouble and boredom, I'm just going to make this go faster. Now let's give it a nice nighttime look so that we can add some lights to the cube. As you can see, this is what it looks like at night. This is a little bit of a fast-paced, quick version at high speed. Sorry about that. As you can see, there's some pretty nice lighting details when the game goes into night mode. So as you can see, there's some dark areas within the cube that I'm hoping to eliminate. And this next segment here is just me fiddling around with the types of lighting that's in the game, because this is something that I have not used too much in this game so far. I'm very familiar with the custom scenery for Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 and how to use that, but in terms of what to do with Planet Coaster, this is a new venture for me. And I'm going to go for a green lighting to help illuminate the trees and hopefully give it a more natural forest feel. Alright, so we have one place there. Basically what I'm going to do is just place it in the darkest spots, and as you can see I'm experimenting with lights on the track too, because I did not realize that was something I could do before. So here I am finishing off some lighting in the queue up front and experimenting a little bit with the type of lights I can use as well. Now, when you're working with these kind of lights, you really need to keep in mind what kind of atmosphere you're hoping to create. That's really the key to making a certain type of mood. As you can see here, I'm adding some more lampposts in to create a warmth and a glow to the background. I'm simply using the colored lights to help that pop out, but I'm using the more traditional lamps to create this kind of warmth atmosphere when you're walking up to the ride at night. Nothing too menacing or scary, because this isn't that type of ride. Being a suspenseful horror, this is more just your typical run-of-the-mill amusement park ride, so you want it to be inviting. So that's my tip for the day. Try and make your rides as inviting as possible by illuminating certain points in the cube so that it doesn't seem too dark. And here I'm experimenting with the bigger lights to try and get more light into the tops of the trees. I think this is the area light, but I could be wrong. So I'm just fiddling around with this to try and get it. It's a bit of an eyesore, but as you can see, if you can get it to work right, you can get a much larger distance covered with lights, and that's a really, really great feature of this game. And I think I've got it just about right there, so we're going to leave it there. Exit out, see how it looks. Yeah, that looks good. Very tastefully done. I don't think that area needs any more lights. but we definitely want to add a few things to here. So I think we're going to go with the smaller area lights and really get this illuminated. It also creates a nice interest for your guests as they're walking through the rides to see some kind of colored lights other than just what you can put on paths. Now, I'm not particularly fond of that green because it really lights up the building, and that's not the kind of lighting I want for that. So for this section of the queue, we're going to go with a darker green. And you can see me experimenting around to see which color I like the best to help with that. Now, the next thing I want to do is illuminate the drop, or at least the supports of the drop. So I'm just kind of searching around to find the best place for the lights. Okay, so we're going to settle with it close to the bottom of the drop because it really illuminates the bottom and the supports. And I think we want to go with a nice blue to match the ride and also the watercolor because you don't want to let it stand out too much or be an eyesore. Okay, so that'll take care of the lighting. What I'd like to do is fill in the backdrop of this hill/mountain so that it doesn't seem like there's nothing beyond the ride itself. You always want to create a nice atmosphere. In this case, I'm going for a nice alpine forest, so that when you look around the queue, you don't just look out and see the open sky, but that the scenery and theming carries over even beyond the ride. I think it's really important to immerse your guests in the kind of atmosphere you want to create. As you can see, that looks a lot better. So we're going to finish that up all the way around. So let's go around and finish that up. Add some taller trees to this portion here since this is where the elevation goes up a bit. Add some spruces, some pines, get a nice thick forest texture going on. And something you can do when you finish is to extend the forest out, but that's your preference when you decide to put something like this in your own park. Right now we're adding some colorful ironwood up at the top, just give a nice mountain effect, which looks very cool. And I think that completes some more work on the queue line. We're going to try and finish this up in the next video. Can't make any promises that that will actually happen, but I'm certainly going to try. So this is all I have for now, and until next time, keep subscribed to find out what happens next. This is RCT3 Imagineer, signing off.